Hey, how you doing, Taurus? How you doing? This is another reading for you all. So don't forget to check the star signs in your birth chart to see which readings resonate with your situations and things that you are going through, as you have many different star signs in your birth chart that could help give you clarity on situations that are going on around you or with you. So, let's get into this reading for you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Also, um, yeah, you can leave a comment in the comment area of this video. So let's get into this. So, what's going on with Taurus? Tauruses. It does say that you have begin to sweat, at times worry if there is going to be things for you to do, warning you not to speak about everything that you go through. At this time, you could have more money than you need, or maybe even see that you timed the situation to have good news. Don't speak about anything bad. You have all the time in the world to see that you have great news. It says, I know that I want to be with you. I wouldn't want to hear it, Taurus, but I need you. Okay. So someone may want to be with you or feels like they need you right now. It says, I know I look at things in that way, but I don't want to hear that I'm always in love with you. And it does say, Taurus, you feel like you don't want to be in love with them at times. You realize that you struggle to have sex or even warn yourself not to. When you realize you don't want to, you don't want to. But you do know that you can have sex when you feel like it. Maybe even looking at things that you want to do when you compare yourself to others, or see who's who and wonder who they are about the things that you like or you don't like. Or maybe even discuss with your mind about the things that you do or don't like. It says you have troubles in your mind to pay up or even see things that you want at times, but don't really care about others. It says you do know that you karmically pleasure yourself or wonder if you ever have good news in your mind. You won't have bad news ever again. It says, I know I've tidied my head and I don't want to speak about it. I will never come to you again. It says someone here doesn't like you or doesn't want to speak about things that you've got to do, but they realize you've got a lot to do than you realize. And it doesn't say warning signs are there, but you've got to wonder, do you have money issues, or do you have warning that you don't want to be somewhere that you thought you could absolutely be? It says, I know I could team up with you and speak to you about it, but I'm warning you, if you pay a lot more, then you're going to be in trouble the next time. It says, I know that I'm going to be continuing to bruise your ego at times. I wouldn't want to know that I'm stressing you, but can you help me? Okay, so want um you could possibly want help, or there's someone around you that wants some type of help, maybe with some money or a payment of some sort. It does say that someone here doesn't want to continue to look at you, but they lied to you about things, and they warned themselves to see if you had blessings in your mind about things that you wanted. It says you could try and try and try and never get anywhere with them. It says the no warning signs are there for you to see that you have good news are there. Absolutely there. It says you knew that you could have trial and error with things that you want in your mind. You could play along with this though and see if someone wanted to help you or never wanted to help you and still wouldn't know, ideally, because it doesn't say anything about it. So basically, there's no information for you to read into or look at or even been given by word of mouth about it. It says, trust me, I know this because I've never seen anything like this. And I warn myself, if I ever give someone a very good omen to speak, I'm going to help them or see that they're not getting help. But I would rather not speak about it. I want to pay a lot more time in my mind to see that I've got good news. Okay, and it doesn't say anything more than this. Someone doesn't want to know that you have troubled them, but it says you know that you could have good news or great news or wonder if it's going to work out. Certainly wouldn't want to know that you have sex with someone else. Someone says they don't know if you're warning yourself to move on or having a good time somewhere else. It says they don't need to know either. They're warning themselves to have a good time, so I wouldn't want to know that they're stressing me about not having a good time. So this looks like a couple, whether you and someone else seem to be at odds. They feel like you could be having fun elsewhere, so they could be wanting to know that they could have fun elsewhere without you being bothered about it, or vice versa. Um, it does say that you both ideally like sex, so the problem is that you wouldn't want to warn that you have good news about it. It's just that you don't want to know that they're sleeping with you and at the same time don't want to sleep with them in their mind about sex with someone else. So you don't want to, have a restless night knowing that they're cheating on you or having sex with someone else, but at the same time you're not in the mood for any sex, or you don't want to know that there is some type of, sex right now. It doesn't say that you do want to have sex, and it does say you want to warn yourself that you do have sex, but not really when they want you to. And it doesn't say that you should have sex when you feel like it is what they want to say to you. Ideally, you feel like you're in a bubble all this time, being worried that you are starved from a venom inside you saying, I don't want to see that I'm evicted in my mind from it, but I could have problems. I could leave the situation alone and say, I'm not going to see myself in a good way. Some of you guys feel like you're stuck in a bubble, you know, or going round and round in circles with an individual that doesn't want to see you happy in love, doesn't want to, have intimacy with you or you them, but doesn't want to see that you've moved on with someone else, or is cheating maybe, or having sex with another person. And it says, I've tried to warn you, I'm in trouble. Don't want to tell you that I'm in trouble, but I've got troubled head, and I've got troubled legs, I've got troubled mind, I've got troubled everything. And some of you lot are going through some type of, like, pains as well. Maybe there's someone that's just not feeling well, and that's the reason why they're not capable of having sex right now. Okay, someone's got trouble with everything, like maybe health issues, um aches and pains, knee pains, back pains, joint pains, maybe going through something mentally right now. It does say that you all are going through something that's going to change your mind about something else. Seeing that you don't have to deal with it is warning you not to speak, but you have given yourself gifts to have good looks. Maybe even saying that you know that you could cheat on someone is not easy, but giving yourself more time to look at yourself like, I'm a lover and not a fighter. It says you know that you want to have good news, but you don't want to look bad about something. Okay, so you may not want to look bad about something. Um, and it does say that you may see that you have given yourself very, very good looks. So you could have given yourself good looks in another person's eyes or in another person's mindset, because you don't want to look bad to someone. It doesn't say that it's going to warn you to have sex with someone else, though. It's going to make you feel like you want to have sex with them. And it doesn't say that you're going to have sex with them. You're going to have sex with someone else that's going to make you feel good, but not really lose them. So you could possibly want to have two people for some of you, or someone around you wants to have two people. But someone's trying to hold up an image like, I'm a good girl, I'm a good guy, but still wants to know they kind of keep the other person around while they manipulate the situation and run off and target this person's mind, thinking that they're all good when they're dealing with something else, or they're not, or trying to see that they could find something else or be with someone else, while the other person feels in their mind that they're having a good time wherever they are and not cheating or sleeping around. It does say they know that, but they wonder if it's happening. Maybe someone has expressed wondering if it is happening, that someone else is cheating or sleeping around. Maybe someone is showing this in their mindset, maybe by showing that they do know that it's happening, but they don't want to know that it's happening. Yeah, so someone here could possibly know that it's happening, but doesn't want to know that it's happening at the same time as well. Okay, lot going on. All right, so take what resonates, leave the rest. Different scenarios for individuals. It says you all are going under in a week or two, as I try to warn you that I want to have sex with you and I can't. I don't want to have sex with you, it says. I really do, it says. And it does say one of you wants sex and the other one doesn't. And some of you want good news about love, sex, and marriage and don't know how to stop this. And it doesn't say how to stop good news coming in from your worn out mindset, as it says people keep bothering you to have sex with individuals that you don't want, or maybe even seeing that you could have sex with someone that you do want but will never know how to have sex with someone else. And it does say that you know that you're in love with another person, or you're in love with your mind, or even the person that you're sleeping with, being with, and near to, and maybe at this time staying with. At this time, you would never want to know that they're cheating on you, and they wouldn't want to know that they're cheating on you. So it doesn't really matter. It says, I know I'm in love with you, and I wouldn't want to stay away, but I'm warning you, I'm in love with you. So someone's in love with you, okay? And for some of you, this person doesn't want to know that they are cheating on you, okay? And vice versa. It does say that you are all warned that you have good news, at times bad news. Some of you are going through mails that are cheating on you, and the email is coming in to say that it wants to give you good news about work for some of you. It does say that you are getting work, and some of you are not getting work. So I know that I want to speak to you about this work. So some of you are getting calls about some type of work coming in as well. Okay, it says, I regularly phone you and I speak to you, but I want to know, does she want to work with you? If she does want to work with you, I will call her and let you know that she's got good news with her work. Okay, some of you guys are getting some phone calls about good news with work. Okay, and trying to figure out if another person wants to work with you. Particularly, someone could be asking about you, making some inquiries about you. All right, or you could be doing that on the behalf of someone else. It says someone here wants to work alone and doesn't want to speak to you, doesn't want to talk to you, or doesn't want to hear that you've got good news. But at this time, this man says he's not going to come back and speak to you about things that he's done in his past. He may not call you, but he wants to tell you off, or maybe even see that someone else does. At this time, you may not speak about it, but the certain problems you have in your mind is someone speaking about what they did with you last year. It says someone here did something with you last year and they didn't realize it, but they had karma with their mindset about a situation that you had told them. They realized that you could speak to them anytime and they could warn themselves not to have good news with you. At this time, they realized they could have good news with you anytime they want, and they don't want to speak about it, but you have time to witness something that they said, and they will speak to you about this again in the next week. They may speak to you today if you call them, or they call you, but time of now, or even of the essence, is waiting for you to speak to them in their mindset, or maybe even hear them out. They realize they've got to warn themselves not to judge you or even criticize you about something that they said, but they warn you, are you ready yet to see a situation change? Okay. I'm also picking up marriage for some of you guys, or someone's querying about some type of marriage. It says someone here does want to know that they're in love with you, but they can't speak to you about it. The mindset is there, but they just can't love you the way you love yourself. And even if you try to warn them to stuff themselves and move on, they wouldn't know how to. They realize they've got to continue being mean or brutal or nasty to you. And never mind why this man can't leave you. He may see himself move on, but can't access the mindset to say, I've done it. He don't know where to go in his brain to say, I've finished with you and move on. He is targeted and wanting to know he can target you and stay there and look for you in your mind and stay there and wonder if you're in love or even with someone else. He may not know how to target you again if he moves on. It does say someone else wants to know that he's moved on, and anyone around you wants to know that he's moved on, so he has to target you or someone else, and maybe even see that family members of his wants to know that he's moved on, because he's tried to warn you that he had to move on and couldn't move on unless you speak. He realized he's got to speak to you, but you don't want to speak to him, and he's warned just to move on. Okay. It says, you know I want you, and I know that you want me too. Where are we going with this? Okay, and that's how he feels towards you. It doesn't say that he wants you as much as you want him. And it does say, I know this because I like this. Evil men are telling me this, that you may not be in love with him, but he's in love with you. And he doesn't know how to stop picking on you to be with you. Warning signs are there for a woman to stop picking on you too, as she crowds her mind around you and studies you. As she looks around your situation, and people look at you and wonder where she's going with her mind to study you like that. She just doesn't know how to stop picking on her mind. She realizes she's been in a bad way for a long time. She certainly smokes drinks and warns herself not to speak to you. She doesn't know how to stop feeling like the way she's feeling at this time because she's bothered. And she wonders, can she ever get over karma in her mind? Things that happened to her when she was a little one. She doesn't know how to stop, and it does say she picks on you until she does know that her time is up. She doesn't know which way to go, but she's warning herself to study you now. Yeah, so there's a woman. This could be an older woman studying you. It doesn't say why she keeps doing that, but the bully energy in her is bothered. And she's wondering, can she speak about it? But she can't. And she's murmuring to herself that she's going to, but can never do it. Okay. It says, you know where it's going with me in my head after I arrest your mum. I wouldn't want to hear that your mum is arrested, but what if I have to? She's been calling me and texting me and making me feel like I've got to call her in her head and make her feel problems. Does say that a sister is there ready to cause her harm and doesn't know how to stop picking on her. She doesn't know when she's going to stop picking on you and me, and I'm realizing I've got to call the police or maybe even see that someone is going to stop this. I wouldn't want to hear that a problem is solved with them because they don't know how to see my point of view. But I realize I'm going to help myself to a karmic spell or ritual and put it on her as a hex. And I will deal with her when I'm done with her. I will leave you to wonder if it worked because you're under attack. And I realize that through my mind telling me off, I've been there too. Certainly wouldn't want to harm you, but I realize I've done things to harm you. And I'm praying to God it hasn't worked. Now I realize I'm under attack because of it, because I feel like demons are telling me off. I've tried to harm you many times and I realize I've done it. I'm not going to speak to you, but I've heard that I was doing spells and rituals that were harming you in my head, and it really did work. Okay, so someone here, this could be your parent's sister, sibling, is saying, that she's doing stuff to harm her, and it does say that she's harmed you too with her rituals or her spell work or something that she said that she prayed for or looked at to make sure it would happen, in hoping and wishing and praying that it would happen, bending the rules and even twisting things to see if it would happen, talking about it or telling people, or maybe even twisting her mind to see if people were around you doing these things to make sure it was going to happen to you, and lying about it that she never did it. Absolutely, at times she did it and wondered if it would come true that you would go through so much hurt and pain. Oh, bloody hell. Says it's not going to be easy to deal with sentimental things like family at this time. Many of you are going through attack through lies, and many times over you feel like you're in a witness scene where you've seen people go through these things, or you're wondering if your friends, your family members are going through them, or you lie about it and just say, I'm dealing with something else. It says warning signs are there for you to see these things, but warning signs are there for you to also walk away. And it does say you try so hard to walk away from things that people are dragging you down into and wonder if it's going to work. It says no one here is trying to pull you away from this. And it does say that you've pulled yourself away so much to the point you are tired. You many thanks yourself for things that you've gone through, and many thanks yourself for things that you've hardshipped through, and many thanks yourself through things that you are warned to stay away from and have done. It says you've guided yourself away from problems and you guilt trip at times when you feel like you are not warning yourself enough to move past it. You will move past it and see that you have prayers that are sent to you by God, gifting you good news and blessings. Many of you are going through sentimental things that are going to help you move past it. Practicality is going to help you, and very good news is on its way. Okay. Doesn't say more than this, other than that you have tried and tried and tried, but you're moving on from something. So you're moving on from something. Well done, Taurus. It says no one's going to pick on me again. I realize I'm not going to harm anyone, but I'm going to allow people to move on past their demons and move away from my problems if I give them any type of wrath I have in my body for them. Okay, and that's how you feel towards them. That's how you feel overall. I wouldn't want to deal with you, but I've got to contact you with one thing that I said. Is she going to sleep with me? It says a man here is laughing at you and wondering if you ever sleep with him. And it does say that he's working up a sweat inside himself to see that he does know he wants you. He doesn't need you, but he wants you. And he's laughing and making fun of you every day until he feels like he can't have you. He's bothered because he could never get you, but the truth is he will never be able to. So he needs to start wondering how to move on today. Okay. It says, now I know not to speak to you again because I realize you will come to me when you want to. And it doesn't say you're always there the way I am. I realize I've got to stop this. My mind tells me off, you beg, friend. It does say he knows that you will look at him like a beg friend. He doesn't need to speak to you at all, but he does. Then he realized he just wants to judge you and laugh at you. Then he realized he can't do that because you're not on his level. Many times over, you look at him like a servant to you, or maybe someone to even say hello to. Just someone that you could say hi to, or even feel like he's there. A little friend, or even someone that you said you warn yourself, I'm not getting involved, but I see you there. And you're okay. I just wouldn't want to dare date you. I just don't want to see you as anything more than that. You could have time, and all this time you could have good news. It says you've got to witness things in a good way and wonder if it's going to work out just fine for you, or else you will move on and see that it's never going to work again. Okay? And it doesn't say that it's going to work out anyway, so he's got to move on. So, does look like that person doesn't have a chance with you, whoever that person is. That's kind of hanging in the wing. So let's see what else is going on. Taurus. Doesn't say that you have very good news anyway. Other than that, you see that you have very good news. Warning signs are there for people to pick on you in your mindset after they realize they're not allowed to come to you with anything. They realize they can time themselves to be there in their heads and worry if they're going to be there in their heads about things. Mind you, the wind is blowing in the wrong direction for you right now, and it does say people pick on their mindset like that. No one's going to pick on you this year. It says you're warned to have good news with your love life in the next week. Even if September comes and you don't, you're going to have good news one day, surely. Okay. Never mind what happened in the ways you wanted it to. It doesn't say that it happened in a way that you wanted it to, but at times you could have things in the way you want it and still never have it in the ways you want it. At times you will. You've got to wonder, does it work out for you in that way? It says, I know I wanted to speak to you about things I said I wanted to call you about, but I didn't get you. And I realized I wanted to speak to you so much to the point I don't know how I even laughed at my mind and didn't even get a hold of you. I realized I've got to work on myself. I really pick on myself to wonder, do you like us? I wouldn't want to say you've got a job, but this job is never going to be easy to sell to you. It's a very bad news job, so it wouldn't work out if I wanted it to. Then I realized I've got to give you something that's going to help you have bad news anyway. Other people are trying to tell me that you've got good news getting jobs, or maybe never getting jobs. And now I know you're going to get something that's going to bless you with many things because I left you. You have so much potential. I realize that after looking at you and wonder if you have very good news in your home, your family, and many things that you are doing. I absolutely just wanted to speak to you and see if it's going to work out. Maybe I look at you and wonder if it's going to come true. You have better news than what I could offer you. So someone wanted to offer you something and it seemed like a bunch of baloney, a bunch of crap. But still wondering if you have better news than what they were going to give to you or try to offer you as some type of job. All right. Maybe right now you guys could be job searching and putting out quite a few CVs or applications, job applications, and some are coming back successful. Some people are sourcing you at this time, and some people are not getting very good luck getting you, and it's not worth it as it's deceptive. Some of you guys are dealing with people that don't need you, but they want to know that they can lie to you or manipulate you or trust you will be under their thumb with bad news. Okay. No one's speaking to you again about this. It says no one's going to call you back about this job or even things that they said they were going to try and karma would come to you with. Ideally, it's a karmic job. Something would have gone wrong or it wouldn't have worked out, in your favor, and they know this. So, it could be some type of scammers as well trying to come and offer you some type of job role, and it's not a real job role, So just kind of be careful about that at this time as well. It says people want to pick on your mindset, Taurus, and maybe even see that you've got good news to give them. Yeah, give them, but not to give you. All right. So just be mindful of that. It does say that you always give yourself good news and you don't want to hear that you've got bad news. So you warn yourself again to stop worrying, but see yourself in a good way and try to work on things that you have and things that you are doing that will become successful one day. Okay. You've got a few haters, but who hasn't? All right. And it doesn't say more than this, but parents, family members, and children. Ideally, a child around you may not want to see as a good parent, or may even stay away from your mindset about having good news. Cars, luxury clothes, even homes. It says you may not always get the new news you need in your family, but sometimes it's there. And wonder if you could always change your ideas with your mind. You still see a way forward, and you make sure that you have sexually mental problems away from your head, which laughs at times, but it really does help you have good news. It warns you, don't have sex and see that great news can come. So, some of you guys could be celibate as well. Some of you guys are celibate, and that celibacy is really helping to change your life. It's really helping you to focus on your work and things that you wanted to achieve for a long time, and now are pursuing these things or really doing them and noticing that there is good results. So, well done to you all. It doesn't say that you have time to speak about things every year, but it does say you've warned yourself to have good news overall, and you make sure that you give yourself good news too. So you will lie down in your mind and hear that you've got great news and even charity to give people at times when you warn yourself you shouldn't have took something, stole something, or taken something from another person, but you try to warn yourself that you will give it back, or maybe even study that you're doing this, but warning yourself that don't want to receive the bad news that could come. It says karma is there, but it says you will try to warn yourself that you are sorry and ask God for forgiveness and stop speaking about studying bad news. Amen. All right. So let's see what else. It says people will pick on people every year, but it's not going to help if you always study your mind in that way. It says you've got to try and warn yourself not to pick into your mind too much about bad news and laugh it off. Make sure you warn yourself not to speak about it at times because it will manifest into things that you don't want. Yeah, so try not to think about some things that you may have done wrong, if that makes sense. None of us are perfect, Taurus. So, it's not saying, all right, go and get away with this and that and that and this constantly, to the point you are abusing situations. It's just saying, don't try to manifest the struggle. Don't try to manifest the negative mindset. Don't try to continue to overly bruise yourself by saying you're sorry to the point you are warring with it and then showing that you are sorry, completely sorry all the time about things, and then manifesting negative news for yourself. Try to be good to your mind and believe that you have good news regardless. Okay? And that's how you stay away from problems. It says people will pick on people in this way, so try not to look at things in a way that you are bothered about them. Try to witness things in a way that you've parked your mind on it, you looked at it and you shouldn't have done something, but you move on from it now and you wonder, can you see yourself in a better way? That way you don't have to do things like that again. Exactly. So anything that was, a little bit underhanded, you don't have to continue to do that again. Says you know that you don't want to see that you are doing things in a bad way to show your family or your friends. You may not even see things at times, but you do know that you've done something, and you warn yourself not to speak about it too much unless a child or a family member tries to dig heels into their mindset about you. It does say they warn themselves not to speak, but they've seen some things that you've done and they laugh at it. But they realize they've got to stop laughing one day when they see their struggles and wonder how they cope in their head with things like you. They will see themselves in the way that you have and really give themselves things in the way that you have at times too. They know that they're not doing it at this time, but will do in the next warring years ahead and see that it's not going to be that bad. Okay. And it does say, really wanted to know that you had time to forgive me. But it says, I know I forgive you. I just don't want you to struggle. And I realize you're going to come up one day and see that you're not going to have bad news. I want myself to struggle at times, but I realize I don't want to. And it does say this man doesn't know who he is, but he's not even going to see himself as a good person one day if he's not careful. He's a worn out man at this time. In his head, really, he's a child. And it does say he's very blaming you for things that he doesn't know how to stop blaming you for. And he may not cook or clean up very often, but he likes that. And he doesn't know how to stop picking on his mind about it. He may see himself one day as warring and another day as very good value to his mind after he's dealt with me. It says, I know I've given you things in your mind to help you, son. And I'm going to warn you again to struggle and make sure that you have good news at the end of it. So don't war with yourself so much. You will have blessed news once I've finished with you. Okay? This is you as a mother as well, raising a child, which could be a male child, okay, who probably takes the mix sometimes, who judges you sometimes, and doesn't see himself in the way that you do at times when you have to go through hardship or even, go through certain struggles, but see yourself coming out of that with light at the end of the tunnel. And you also can see that sometimes it may happen, you know, for your offspring, i.e., your children. Maybe it's the same way or even similar ways, or maybe even in a different way. But you've warned this person that says, that may judge you, about certain things that you've gone through, that they may do it too one day, and they don't believe it. They don't believe it until it happens to them. But you can see blessings for them, just like you've seen blessings for yourself, once they've moved past the idea of staying stuck in that way. Okay, so it says, no wonder I like you so much. It does warm me to have good news, and I sex down the place so much with my mental health. It says, when this man says he wants to have sex, he really does. But he doesn't know how to stop you from having it too. He realized he wants sex so much to the point he doesn't even know where to put his dingaling. But he realized he wants sex with your mind. He likes it, and he realized he loves your sexual mental health problems. Like, you've got absolutely everything to war with him about. He says, I've touched myself so much thinking about you, and I wonder, can we play? Ooh, someone really wants to play with you sexually, honey. Someone else wants to come in and talk about it. Could be an air sign, could be a Libra, could be a Leo, could be a Virgo, could be any star sign. But it says a man here is looking for you and wonders, can he play with you right now? He wants to have good times with you, Taurus. Okay. Could be someone that you're dating or seeing. Could be a casual relationship. Okay. Could be a situationship even, but someone here is missing your sexual fun side. It doesn't say that you want to, but you realize you've got good news to give yourself in a minute or two, and you want to do things that are going to make you feel like you're resenting your head sometimes, because you don't want to have times alone with him in your mind when you're working, and warning yourself that you are very much so looking forward to happiness, but you are busy. You can't have fun sometimes. You've got to look at things where you're working and very, very busy in the mind, or even saying you see things that you want to do for yourself, so you've got to work on it, and maybe even study certain things too. Okay, so maybe you just haven't got the time and attention to give him right now. Okay. Anything else for Taurus? It says all that is going to be given to you is the next thing that's on your mind. Good news. Things that are going to work out just fine, and warn yourself you are dressing well, looking well, and doing great. So you have absolutely nothing to worry about, and you've given yourself that. So you know that you have blessings ahead of you. Work on yourself, your ways, and your mind, and you'll do great by love life, sex, marriage, and health. You'll do just fine. Okay, so that was your reading, my lovely Tauruses. You're going to do just fine. Everything's going to work out just fine. It does say that you have to warn yourself of a thief or someone that's going to steal something from you. So warn yourself of that. And maybe even look at things that you have done. It says don't try to worry too much about it, but see that you are giving yourself better news in the end. Try not to steal, take, or even look at things in a bad way this year. And maybe even look at things in your mind again about how you love yourself. And warn yourself that even if you love your home, your house, your family, children are something that's there to study and help you pass problems. They may even see that you are giving yourself good news or warning you that you have bad news, but at times you wonder, can you have great news to move past it? Maybe even seeing that you structure your mind in better ways. Time is of the essence to see that no more trauma is taking over your mind. Things that you are losing or even warning yourself to lose are not going to be good to your head. Try to make sure you manipulate the situation and have better news overall. And try to wonder if everything's going to be okay moving forward, because it can't stay that way forever. But you have good news right now. And it says very, very good news. So keep it that way. You have love life suffering, but it's going to change in the next week or two. And you'll have great news overall as an outcome. So it does say see you again in your mindset in a good way in the next week or two. But you'll have great news overall. Okay, so that is your reading, my lovely Taurus. I will speak to you again in your next one. Ciao for now. Bye.